Hello, geeks, freaks, and all those unique. It's EmceeFrodis. Carry on, wayward fans. There's 5 before we're done. Tonight's episode was Gimme Shelter. It was written by Davy Perez and directed by Matt Cohen, who played young John Winchester on the show. So, this episode was... It was an episode. I talked last week about how in supernatural episodes, I don't like when they do cases when there's clearly way more important things to be doing. And that's kind of what we ended up getting in this one. Now, we did have 2 plot lines going on. One of them was your case of the week. And the other one was dealing with the major plot that was happening with God and Amara. But certainly it was the case that was getting the most attention. Clearly because the writers could not think of anything to do in regards to the God plot. This is one of my problems I have when they do these major plots like this. Is they don't know what to do to get to the finale, and so they end up spinning their wheels. So you have this thing where most of the time through the Sam and Dean plot, they're in the frickin' Impala, and then they, have dinner with a, being of... great power. This sounds a lot like what they did back in season 5 when they were dealing with death. Granted, Amara having a thing for pierogies, I don't know. Those pierogies could have been fried a little bit more. They looked a bit soft to me. I didn't actually know that Pennsylvania was really known for pierogies. I'm just going to spend the entire episode talking about pierogies. You can tell a Polish girl. And that's mostly because I don't want to talk about the rest of this episode. There was stuff I liked in this. There really was. In my notes, I have the word adorable written 10 times because Jack was truly, truly adorable. And I liked the father and son dynamic between Jack and Castiel. And, can we wear matching ties? And that Jack would ask Castiel's permission before starting a social media account. But the plot was... It was just so thin and non-existent. You have this case, which I guess is supposed to be a riff on 7, but it doesn't really go anywhere. It just kind of stuff happens. And Jack and Cass didn't really uncover anything. Things just happened, and then they kind of stumbled into what was going on. So it's hard for me to really say that it was even a good case. It was just stuff happened. It was also very strange in that you don't really get many supernatural episodes that don't have a supernatural element to this case. I was waiting for it to turn out that she was a demon or she was an angel or something was happening, but no, she was just kind of this religious nutjob. We did have the little bit with the demon in it, where Cass decided to go to a crossroads to talk to a demon. And that's really not something that he would usually do. I mean, Cass always has other ways to do this kind of stuff. And now with Rowena as the Queen of Hell, seriously, he's gotta do the whole crossroads ritual. Though I did like his picture being him in the cowboy hat. Oh my, I I just knew Dean would take a picture of that. Then the demon turned up at the end, and I'm like, oh, cool. Too bad that's not going to lead to anything. Because you have 5 episodes left. I don't understand how you can actually figure out any time to deal with this whole Rowena is now the queen of hell and nobody's making any crossroads deals anymore. So this demon is doing something. It's just spinning your wheels until the end of the show. And the one thing I liked about last week's episode, which was also a standalone Monster of the Week thing, is that we did get an insight into Jack. We got an insight into Dean. But I didn't get anything new in this episode. All of the stuff about Jack and Castiel are things we already knew. Like Castiel giving that whole big speech about, once he followed orders, but then he stopped taking orders, and then he found himself lost, and then he became a father, and then he kind of started to understand, like, what his place in the world was. We've been knew this. Like, this is all stuff, like, that we've known about because we've watched it for 9 years. Is that... No, Cass has been on the show longer than that. 11 years. Yeah, so, I mean, we watched all that unfold. We don't need him just telling us his life story. Just, like, in really vague terms. And Jack, we did not learn anything new about him. I mean, we did find out that he's going to have to kill himself to kill Amara and God, but did anybody not see that coming? Like, really? There was better ways to have that come out than a, heart-to-heart in Not Baby. I just feel like there was so much more that they could have done rather than this kind of weird 7 ripoff of a case that didn't really reveal anything about the characters that we didn't already know. I mean, Jack was cute and all, and I liked him and Cass working a case together, but there was more that could have happened. This is the 6th to the last episode, and you're gonna give me something this thin? And, when it comes to the plot with Amara, it's not really all that better because, one, that plot barely took up, it did not take up half the episode. I think maybe it took up, generously a quarter of it. And I don't feel like there was really anything gained from it. We got to see Emily Swallow again, and that's always nice. I like this pink motif that she's going with. Certainly different than when she was kind of evil Amara. And I like that it's still a relationship with Dean. She always had that closeness with Dean, and that still remains now. But I didn't feel like we really made any progress in the plot with Chuck. Because we know it's not going to work. There's no way that it can work. So it feels really useless to set up all of this stuff when, you're lying to the darkness. It's not going to work. I'm sure she knows that you're lying. And then finding out about Mary, why she brought Mary back. I don't feel like it really added anything to that storyline or to Dean's storyline. It's like, okay, so this is something that was answered, but it was a question that I don't feel like many people were asking. She wanted to do something nice for Dean. She did something nice for Dean. And yeah, Mary ends up dying. That's really not Amara's fault. I mean, Mary is around for, 2-3 years? Like, I mean, I know it's not a long time, but in Hunter years, like, that's a lifetime. And it's 3 more years than she would have gotten before. So, it's not something that Dean really has to take up with her. It was, again, just kind of spinning our wheels. I enjoyed it. It was a. Did I enjoy it? There was cute stuff in it. I liked Cass and Jack working a case together. It was cute. I mean, I have to admit, like, the Jack holding the badge upside down, like, that's a joke we've already had on the show. Like, Cass did it, and it was great. But, you repeating it again with Jack. I did like the greener than Baby Yoda line. Not just because I love me some Baby Yoda, but because Jack is just a total, baby. I was so puzzled by the actual case. This church that it didn't really. It where it led was just very badly set up. It wasn't like a church. It was like a community thing, but the daughter was very. It was just a mess. It's like, I know where you were going, but only because you told me where you were going. I didn't see it. You told me that this was supposed to be what was going on, and so I'm kind of like shrugging, and it's like, okay, I guess that's what's going on. That it really could have been done better. And I mean, maybe I'm being overly critical about these episodes because we're just so close to the end. Like, this show has been on for 15 years. You can't have a show that's been on for 15 years and then just grind it out at the end. Like, I mean, I know a lot of people will say that they've been doing that for a long time now, but if Supernatural is able to do anything, it's able to deliver good ending or good season finales. And they usually have more build up to that, and maybe I'm just looking for it too soon. But you're fighting a war against God. Like, that should take up everything. Everything. Do you know what? Your fans are not going to be upset that the war against God is taking up the entire season. Because it's a war against freaking God. Like, we're cool with it. You don't need to go off on some rando case with some psychotic religious fanatic. We don't need that when you're in a war against God. Yeah, the more I talk about it, the more I'm like, yeah, I did not like this one. There was some cute stuff with Cass and Jack, mostly one-liners, and I like their interactions with each other. And I like that Jack acknowledges that Cass and Dean and Sam are his dads. I mean, maybe he was also talking about Lucifer, but I think mostly he was talking about the boys. He's just so earnest. He's so earnest and sweet, and I think he brings out a side of the boys that I don't think that we would get if we did not have somebody who was young and idealistic coming in. And because it's Supernatural, yeah, that's going to be the son of God, the son of Lucifer. I think I've talked myself into the not being a fan of this episode. So I guess I'm just going to have to leave it there. Because it's okay if I didn't like this one, because I will hold on to the hope that they'll stick the landing. Though I'm very upset that I was on Google today and I might have seen a spoiler. I don't know if it's true or not. I won't repeat it because I'm not disseminating spoilers to anyone else. I won't tell you whether I enjoyed the idea of the spoiler or didn't. I was mad that I saw a spoiler because 5 episodes from the end, I don't want to see anything. But please tell me what you thought of Gimme Shelter. Comment below. If you like the video, then like the video. Subscribe to my channel. I'll be reviewing the rest of this season and probably doing some more Supernatural videos in the lead up. I'm also going to be reviewing Discovery now that it is airing. Please share the video around the internet. And if you want to support me, you can head over to my Patreon. You can also buy me a coffee. I also got t-shirts up on TeePublic and Redbubble. Today I am wearing my Supernatural Pride shirt. This is the Bi Pride shirt, though I do have basically, I think I've got about a dozen different pride flags in the same kind of design. So kind of a pride for every, I don't want to say every group because I don't know if I've got quite everybody covered. But if I don't have yours, then, contact me and I'll get that up because I do like to cover as many bases as I can. But yeah, so until next time, may the force be with you.